Everyone. Today our topic of study is the herdmania, test, mental and boudoir. Herdmania is a animal which includes in the subphylum Urochordata of the phylum Chordata. Due to the presence of a test, it also known as tunicata. It also placed in the subphylum Tunicata. Test or tunicin, test or tunic, it forms a protective jacket covering around the body and also act as accessory respiratory organ and a receptor organ. It is soaped 4 to 8 nm thick, leathery and translucent. It is also almost transparent in young stage but becomes opaque in the adult due to the thickening of the test is wrinkled in appearance with a number of folds and depressions running all over the surface. It wears off continuously from the outer surface and replaced from inside by the epidermis of mantle which secretes it. The entire foot is made of taste only. As already described, the test harbor a large number of organisms such as algae, hydroids, anemones, mollusks, barnacles, and other non-acidians. Here is the diagram of the test of the herdmania, which represents the test vessels. These are the test vessels. Test vessels consisting of ampullas. They all suspended into test matrix of the test, which also includes the spicules, which are the microscleras type of the spicules too. The test cuts like the soft cartilage and is composed of a clear gelatinous matrix in which cells are embedded. Corpuscles of various types, interlacing fibrils, branching blood vessels, and calcareous spicules, they all around suspended into the test of the herdmania. We go through the study of the test. First, we see the matrix. Matrix is the ground substance is made of a polysaccharide tunicin, which is a similar substance to the plant cellulose. Some proteins and minerals are also added into this tunicin. The corpuscles, the cells found in the matrix are mesodermal in origin, and as they are 7 different types. These are the large eosinophils with eccentric and large nucleus. Next one are the amoeboid cells with irregular shape. These are the small eosinophils with eccentric nucleus or the nucleus located at the periphery of the nucleus, periphery of the cell. These are the granular cells, squamous epithelial cells, and the small nerve cells. These all are the different type of the cells found in the herdmania. First, the largest eosinophilous cells are spherical in shape and fewer in number. These were stained bright red with the eosin. Small amoeboid cells are the small sized. Amoeboid is nature without any constant shape. Small eosinophil cells possess an eccentric nucleus and are more numerous. Small spherical vacuolated cells are small in size and possessing nucleus is indivisible. Granular receptor cells are probably sensory in function and these are less abundant and are surrounded by the nerve fibers. Small branches of the nerve cells are small and possess 2 to 6 long processes dendrites and these are more numerous than the receptors as the nerves are supposed to play an important role in the communication of the stimuli from the receptor cells to the other parts of the test. According to Das 1936, the sensitiveness of the herdmania is due to the presence of the nerve cells in the test and squamous epithelial cells. Third, the interlacing fibrils. These form a fine network in the test. Some of them are like smooth muscle fibers, while other resembles nerve fiber. Fourth, the blood vessels, and these forms an anastomosing system in the test. Numerous branches near the surface from over or the pear-shaped terminal lobes or the ampullae responsible for the red patches visible on the surface of the test. The ampulla serve as accessory respiratory as well as receptor organ being connected to the nerve cells. Fifth, the spicules. Herdmania has a large number of calcareous spicules of two types. All the spicules bear several equidistant rings of the minute spines, all pointed in the same direction, all along their length of the megascleras. This diagram represents the type of spicules present into the test of the herdmania, which consists of mainly two types of spicules. These are the megascleras and microscleras. These one are megascleras, then this one are the microscleras. Megascleras type of scale is further divided into two categories. These two categories are first pipette shaped and next one are the spindle shaped. So if we look at the diagram, these are the pipette shaped megascleral spicules and next one are these are the spindle shaped megascleral spicules and these all are microscleras. So these two categories of the spicules present in the test of the herdmania. The megascleras are the large size megascleras occur in all part of the body except the heart. They are again of the two varieties. First are pipette shaped megascleras reaches up to 3.5 millimeter in length and they may be straight or curved with pointed ends. Each has a large spherical swelling in the middle, acquiring the characteristic pipette like appearance. Second, spindle shaped megascleras are only 1.5 to 2.5 mm long and more abundant and usually present in the bundles, equipped with 20 to 60 equally spaced ring of spines. The spicules provide an integral rigidity supporting framework like the endoskeleton, keeps the mantle firmly fixed to the test, stiffens the wall of the blood vessels to avoid their collapses and wards of the predator. Mantle or body wall. Beneath the test lies the body wall or mantle, which is visible on the removal of the test, which it secretes. Mantle secretes the test. That's why mantle is located beneath the test. The mantle is suspended inside the test and attached only at the branchial and atrial aperture, forming the corresponding siphons. It is not developed uniformly throughout the body, being thick, highly muscular, and opaque on the anterodorsal side, but thin, transparent, and almost without muscles on the posteroventral side, where the internal organs are quite visible through it. Mantle encloses a large water-filled cavity, the atrium. Histologically, the mantle is composed of three cellular layers: outer epidermis, middle mesenchyme, and inner epidermis. The outer epidermis is made of single layer of flat hexagonal at the branchial and atrial aperture. It is intended to reach up to the base of the siphons and forming stomodium and proctodium respectively. The outer epidermis secretes the taste. Second, mesenchyme. It lies below the outer epidermis. It lies below the outer epidermis and is derived from mesoderm. It consists of connective tissue fiber transferred by the nerve fibers, muscle fibers, and extensive blood sinuses. Muscle fibers are unstudied and arranged in the three sets. Angular muscles surround each siphon in several circular rings. They cause the contraction of the siphon. The more numerous longitudinal muscles start from the branchial and atrial apertures and radiate beneath annular muscles up to the middle of the body on each side. They bring about the contraction of the body. A few branchioatrial muscles extends deeper between the two siphons. The connective tissue cells present in the middle layer are mostly amoeboid as vacuolated cells. Third, the inner epidermis. It is the inner ectodermal single layer of flat polygonal cells lining the atrial cavity. The internal organs of the atrial cavity in the foot has no soft part of the body inside, being entirely made of test. All the soft internal and visceral organs are present inside the body proper, enclosed within the somewhat transparent body wall or the mantle. Viscera is visible when test is removed, and the structure visible from the left side are: first, look at this diagram. This represents few structures which are seen from left side after the removal of the test: branchial aperture, branchial siphon, neural gland, atrial aperture, atrial siphon, annular muscles. These are the annular muscles, and then these one are the longitudinal muscles. Left lobe of the liver, stomach, and intestine, and then mantle. These are the organelles seen from the left side after the removal of the test. Two siphons with, I again repeat it, two siphons with their outer annular and internal longitudinal muscles, respective apertures, each guarded by four lips: stomach, intestine, and rectum. The intestine forming a wide loop, chocolate color left liver lobe in front of the stomach, pink color left gonad lying on the intestinal lobe, and the opaque rod-like endostyle along the ventral margin of the pharynx. Now, on the examination of the visceral from the right side, the structure visibles are seen in this diagram: atrial aperture, atrial siphon, ridge of lobe of liver. Not ridge, this is the spelling missed by, this is the right lobe of liver. And then right gonad, these are the right gonads. Pericardium, the outer covering of the heart, located here. These one are the longitudinal muscles. Mantle, the annular muscles. Branchial siphon, branchial aperture, and then the neural glands. These are the organelles seen from the right side of the Herdmania when test is removed. Viscera seen from the right side after removal of the test are the two siphons with their musculature and aperture, the neural gland, intersiphonal region, the right liver lobe, pericardium, right gonads, and the endostyle. Now we come to the coelom and atrium. There is a true coelom present in the ascidian. True coelom in the ascidian is greatly reduced to the overdevelopment of the atrium. The overdevelopment of the atrium restricts the true coelom to a definite position and access in a few doubtful derivatives like pericardial cavity, gonads, and natural glands. Reduction of coelom is regarded to be a result of degeneration, the spacious cavity lying between the mental and the pharynx and including the visceral organ is called atrial. It is lined by the interepidermis of the mental and the atrial cavity is continuous throughout the body except in the anterior and ventral region where the pharynx and mental become fused. It is narrow on the two lateral sides of the pharynx and called the peribranchial cavity, which communicates with the cavity of the pharynx through the stigmata. In the wall of the pharynx above pharynx and the atrial cavity is a wide and known as cloaca opens into the anus and the gonopores. The cloaca leads to the exterior through the atrial siphon. The atrial aperture, the atriopore around the base of the atrial siphon is a strong sphincter muscles near which a ring of a slightly serrated process called atrial tentacle projects into the siphon. Now you can see various structure seen in the plane of the section of the body showing relation of the atrial cavity, pharynx, mental and chest. So this outer covering, outer sparsely located mass is the chest. So this is the plane of suction. This name has been placed here. This one is chest. Beneath the chest there is a mental, and beneath the mental consists of then this one is atrial cavity and this one is branchial cavity. Whole names once I told in front of you through this diagram, this mental, then pharynx, blood sinuses, branchial folds. These are trabecules, transverse vessels, ovary, oviduct, heart, chest, atrial tentacle, dorsal lamella, internal longitudinal vessels, rectum, testis, vasa deferens, etc. This whole structure has been seen in this diagram. Now we comes to the locomotion and movement of the Herdmania. As we know, larva of the Herdmania is free swimming, but when the retrogressive metamorphosis is going on and it larva converts into the adult form of the Herdmania, the adult is a sessile animal. Only visible movements noticed during the contraction of the body while squirting out of the water. Through the atrial and branchial siphon For this contraction, the three set of specialized muscles are included. These three specialized muscles are oral muscle group, atrial muscle group, and atrio-oral muscle group. Operates both oral and atrial muscles groups are formed of annular and longitudinal muscles as we seen in the previous diagram. The atrio-oral muscles group is composed of over 4 muscle bands running between the oral and atrial funnels and two pair of muscles situated on the other sides of the neural gland. These muscles extends longitudinally from one funnel to the another. Contraction of the body is caused by the contraction of the longitudinal muscle, and contraction of the funnel is affected by the annular muscles. Today we have learned about the test of the Heidmannia, then mental of the Heidmannia, pharynx, atrial cavity, and movements and locomotion of the Heidmannia. This is all about it. For the today lesson, it is sufficient. Thank you for watching. In next video, we will meet